YouTube, acknowledge me. Alright, hello, citizens of the Nigelverse. It's Nige here once again, and this is going to be another tier list. So today, we have the head of the table, the tribal chief, the one, the only, the current WWE Undisputed Universal Champion in the middle of his mammoth 1,000-day plus reign, and it's not nowhere near close to done yet. I'm talking, of course, about Roman Reigns. And so I got tires here for Roman, but I also have the tiers down here. Now Roman was someone I was kind of afraid to do, mostly because I thought, he didn't really change his attire that much drastically. But then I remembered he might not have changed up that much, but he sure wore a lot of vests and a lot of different colors. But nevertheless, we have our tiers here. So we have head of the table, meaning this is a very top tier attire. It's a very good looking attire, very fantastic attire, or the best of the best, absolutely fantastic. Again, it's worthy of the spot at the head of the table. In A tier, it will have attires that aren't quite the tippy top, but they're still really, really good, really, really solid. Then B tier is kind of the middle ground, not great, not horrible when it comes to attires, just like a good or like okay attire. C tier is almost at the bottom, one or two things keeping it from the bottom, which the bottom is booed out of the building, which sadly is something Roman is all too familiar with. That means I should probably explain this one, but I think it's pretty self-explanatory. That just means the attire sucks. It's non-redeemable, kind of like Roman Reigns was for a little bit. But he did redeem himself in a major way with the whole bloodline storyline and everything, which now has a new wrinkle, as Jey Uso was recently, as recent as SmackDown was recently cost the United States Championship. So where will the bloodline story continue to evolve from there? Only time will tell. But without further ado, let's get right into it. Starting with Leakey. This is very early into the career, and look at that very, very young Roman Reigns. With like the trunks and everything, almost like the Samoa Joe trunks. Leakey very early on. But it's not the only one we'll have with trunks. But I think that one I'll probably put in B. Probably because I'm sure he wore a variety of attires similar to that one. Same with his appearance here in NXT, which looks almost drastically different from the Roman Reigns we would all know and loathe for a while before loving. But so here he is in NXT. Again, look how young he looks, and I think that's, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's Derek Bateman in the ring, aka EC3. I could be totally wrong. In fact, I probably am. But nevertheless, look at Roman here with the trunks, then the knee pads, and then the wrist gauntlets and everything. Now, admittedly, this era NXT I didn't really watch. Kind of as it transitioned out of being the game show and more into kind of like a developmental wrestling show before it really became like a third brand and everything. I kind of missed that era with guys like Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, Big E, etc. Let me know if it's worth checking out. But now we move into the Shield, which Roman perhaps most famous for, but also a position he wasn't supposed to get. So when CM Punk first pitched the idea for the Shield, it was supposed to be Dean Ambrose, aka Jon Moxley, Seth Rollins, and Chris Hero, but instead it went to Roman Reigns, and I think that probably worked out for the better, to round out having kind of like a muscle in the group. Chris Hero, of course, is able to do some strength stuff as well, but Hero more so known for his striking and his agility, but they already have an agility person in Seth, so I feel like Roman kind of balanced it out. Dean being kind of the wild card, Seth being like the aerial being the aerial artist, and then Roman being the muscle of the group. But I think that's just me. Let me know when it comes to what you guys think, and if you want to see me cover it in a future discussion video. But as for this one, it looks okay for the most part. With you got the cargo pants, he's got the vest and everything with all the pockets. No wrist gauntlets there. Very early Roman Reigns. And it's back when Roman was still the strong, silent muscle of the group, which some people feel like that would have allowed his character to be better, or when he went solo and everything, could you be the strong, silent, like muscular, or type, which I think probably would have worked dividends. But if his current run is anything to go by, he just needed some time to grow on the mic, but he probably could have got it with over time. But nevertheless, next we move into 2014 Shield, aka Roman's kind of like solo attire, because this is what he wore for a little bit after the Shield broke up and everything. But we got Roman in this different vest, and he has the wrist gauntlets, which you can't really see. And I feel like this kind of adds to it, but and I know it's a part of the heritage and everything. But now that he has the full sleeve instead of just like the shoulder, I think the full sleeve really helps add to it and really helps it stand out even more. So this one, and I think the Shield 2014, it's not a bad one, but I think I'll put it in B. Yes, I think I'll put it in B. But next up is going to be let's see. The yellow / like golden. We kind of sort of transitioned into the dark days of Roman Reigns when and WWE tried to make him pretty much like the next John Cena. It didn't really work out. As for his attire itself, I think it looks okay. He's still predominantly black, kind of having some of the highlights and everything. And I think he had it on like the pockets, it's on the pants. I know we'll see that in later attires that we'll get into, but I think he also had it over the pockets. But this one I think I'll also put in B. I think it's just like okay. So I think I'll put it in B. But next up is the blue variant of like this one, and this one, between this and the yellow, I think I lean a lot more towards the blue. I think the blue stands out a little bit more, and is a little bit nicer. Or like this one isn't bad, but it's been more subdued. But the blue kind of does stand out a little bit more, and you can see it over the pockets and everything. And so the blue, I think the blue I'll also stick with B for now, but the blue I will say I do like a bit more than the yellow, but that's just my opinion. And remember, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree with any of these, that is completely fine. But next up, we have the white variation. So between these three, something about this, I think this one, honestly, out of all three, I think this one's probably the best. Like this one, I think is really solid. It a little bit too heavy-handed when it comes to the white up top, but you also see it here in the pants and over the pockets, everything. But overall, I think it works out. Do I want to put it in A? Ooh, I gotta copy the whole thing. Don't know if I want to necessarily put it in A, but I think do I want to put it in A or B? Something about it I really like. But I think I'll stick with B for now. I think it is still pretty solid in my opinion. But next up, we've got WrestleMania 31, the debut of the vest with the emblem in the center, the One for All logo, which looks a lot like the Spider-Man logo. This one is really cool though. It's got there in the centerpiece. He's and got the gauntlets as well, and I like it on the glove as well, which I think, if I'm not mistaken. No, I don't think he had it on the glove yet. I think this is when he first had it on the glove. But something about this I really like. And I know it says WrestleMania 31. For a lot of these, that's when he debuted the vest. But Uh, um, but he would end up wearing it. But yeah, I think that one I'll put in A. Something about it I think I really like. It's a bit simple, but I think something about it works. But next up is WrestleMania 32. This one, match it with Triple H aside, I think this one is actually really cool with like the gold there, and then on the straps, and then on the top strap as well, the side straps, the top straps. I really like it, and I like how it goes into like the gloves and everything. They give them the custom like gloves, of not just like the regular gauntlets like he had up to this point, but the actual gloves. So I think, like I said, match aside, match be damned. I think it does work. So, WrestleMania 32. I think I'll also put in A. Don't necessarily want to put it in head of the table, but I think I will put it in A. Next up is SummerSlam 2016 blue version of this one, and don't know if I like it as much as the gold one here, but the blue version I think is really cool and really not. It's like the blue. I feel like cool colors. I gravitate a bit more towards. As you might have noticed that I have no problem with warm colors. In fact, the yellow / like gold is kind of on the warm color side of things, but something about the cool colors I think also works well. So SummerSlam 2016. I think. Do I want to put in A or B? I think. I think I'll put it in. I think. Why not? I think I'll put it in A. Yeah, I think I'll leave it in A. Something about it I really, really like. But next up is Clash of Champions 2016 in orange / like kind of brown. I have never been a fan of this attire, or like this attire, or more so just like the color and everything. And the vest is the same as the other ones, but the color I am not the biggest fan of, like that orangish brown. I've never really been a big fan of. It looks almost like poo, at least to me. But so I never really been a big fan of it. I don't know if I necessarily want to boo it out of the building, but. Yeah, I think I'll have to put this one in C, actually. So, Clash of Champions 2016 is going to go in C. Not really the biggest fan of it, I will admit. Which is unfortunate. But you can't win them all, you know. But next up is going to be, let's see. It's going to be the black, just a solid black color. Not really the biggest fan of this either. For this one, I don't like the color. This one, I'm not really the biggest fan of the lack of color. I think the lack of color makes it not really stand out that much, and you obviously know what it is because you've seen like the other ones, and at least he's from the perspective of him walking down to the ring, you know what's there, and it's somewhat visible. But I think it's not as good as the other one, and like all black and everything. And if you want to do all black, you might as well have gone back to attire like this one or something. Which this one also has a black variation, like a solid black variation, but I didn't include it on the list. I forgot to, but we still have plenty of attires. But yeah, so the black I think I also put in C tier. Here, and actually I'm gonna turn on my fan because it's starting to get a little warm. But then next up is the red attire. Something about like this one in particular I have always been a big fan of. Like I said, and normally I stick with cool colors like this one, but sometimes warm colors work, and I think something about this really works. And I think there is a variation where the arm gauntlets are red as well, but as for the red vest, something about it is really cool, and it fits because Roman Reigns was on Raw at this point. This was after the second brand split, but yeah, so red, and I think really suited Roman, and sign of things to come perhaps for Mr. Roman Reigns. So the red, I think I'll actually, honestly, I think I gotta put it ahead of the table. Well, something about it is always next up is Fastlane 2017. White it's simple this time around with a similar vest structure like this, and the white boots slash I think they're just boots, but it's got like the white sole at the bottom. I know he also wore these at Great Balls of Fire, or ironically also against Braun Strowman, but this one I think is like okay. I do like the white soles; those kind of make it stick out a little bit better. But it's okay. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Roman actually caught some flack for that attire, but yeah, I'll be generous. I'll put it in B. I think it's okay. I think it's okay. But next up is WrestleMania 33. Again, and match aside, height against The Undertaker, which wasn't a great one. This attire is pretty cool. It's got like the bluish gray going on in the center, and at the edges of the vest structure, which the vest structure looks like it's changed up a slight bit. It's got like the same bluish gray color, so I think it looks like okay. So I think WrestleMania 33, he is also gonna go in B. I think that one's also kind of like okay, at least in my opinion. But next up is going to be, let's see, SummerSlam 2017. Something about this attire I have always really liked. If I'm not mistaken, I think this was the Roman attire that made it into 2K18, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 2K18 or 2K19. Let's check. So WWE, I know it definitely made it into one of those. What was wrong? Oh yeah, I forgot that was that year. So it must have been 2K19. I forgot. I made it in 2K19 because I forgot Roman's attire in 2K18. I hated it. It was so kind of bland, and it was pretty much similar to like his 2K17 attire. So if I look up 2K17 Roman Reigns, not with the apostrophe, but yeah, pretty similar to that, and then with like less color. I forgot, like I hated that attire for Roman in the game. Like this custom one actually looks really really cool. But yeah, I forgot. I hated that one, but this one is really nice. It's actually really solid. I like kind of the similar vest structure again. The new logo with with Roman flying with the Superman punch in the center, and then the red straps there. Something about it I think works really well. So that one I think I'll put in. I don't know if I want to put it in the head of the table, but I will put it in A tier at least. Something about it I really like. Then next up is, let's see, the Royal Rumble 2018. Pretty much the same as like this one, but in gold this time, and I think it really works. And I like how it's a gold outline instead of like this part being in gold. Well, I think that really works, and something about it I really like. Again, the elbow pad as well. The only major difference that I noticed is these parts are gold as well, whereas these parts are just solid black. But I think it works. I think it works relatively well for Roman there. So that one, Royal Rumble 2018, I think I'll also put in A. I do really like it, and I am very much a fan of it. But next up is going to be, scrolled up too far, WrestleMania 34. Again, for the third time in a row, match be damned, this attire I actually really like. I like the whole new vest structure, with kind of how they do the new straps and everything, and and then the centerpiece, and how it kind of wraps around a little bit more, or unlike this one, which this one I also like. Like, of course, don't get me wrong, but that one kind of just does its own thing for the most part. But this one kind of wraps around. It's a bit more like fitting. I feel like not as bulky as like this one for Roman, at least in my opinion. And I do something about this one I really like. Plus the color is very nice. So WrestleMania 34, I think I'll also put in a. Don't know if I want to put it ahead of the table, but I think I'll put it in A. Again, match is what it is, but for me, yeah, it's still crazy that Roman bled really hard that night. But next up is the Greatest Royal Rumble. Oh, you took something nice and you kind of ruined it. It would kind of go back to that orangish brown color again, and I still don't like it for this one. I'm still not the biggest fan of it. Between this one and the one at Clash of Champions, I think I don't know. I can't tell which one's worse, which one I like less. I think I'm kind of down the middle, but this one, unfortunately, I gotta go see. I think theoretically I might like that one. I might like this one a bit less because there's more color, or there's more of it. But yeah, I'm not feeling it. Then next up is going to be Extreme Rules 2018. You've redeemed yourself with the red attire. Okay, Roman really goes good with red. It is what I'm learning throughout this tier list, is that Roman Reigns goes really, really good with red, I feel like. But shout out to that match against Bobby Lashley. But the attire itself is really cool, with kind of the same principles like this one, except it's toned down. The color, the main color in it, which is red, is toned down a little bit more, and I think it works here a bit more than this one. And so this one, I don't know if I want to put it in head of the table, but I think it is still a solid A. I do really like it, so it is going to go in A there. But next up is going to be SummerSlam 2018. This one I do like. I like it more than this one. Kind of a similar idea with the blue, except the gold in the center. The blue and gold, I think, was a really nice choice. And I think it works a bit better than this one. But still don't know if I want to put it in head of the table. But I will at least stick with A for this one as well. I think it's a really solid attire in my opinion. But next up is going to be Hell in a Cell 2018. Again, say it with me. The match was what it was, but the attire was not bad. Had gold this time around, kind of similar vein to this one, or I think this one a little bit, because it also has kind of like that shading effect going on here as well a little bit. But not really as well. Actually, no, not really. But the gold, I think, works really well. It does look really, really nice with the vest and everything. And I think I might like this more than the other ones. I think this one might be the best one, and honestly, now that I'm looking at it, the gold works really well. So you know what? I think this one, this one, don't want to put it ahead of the table. You know what? Sure. Yeah, I'll go ahead and put it ahead of the table. I'll be generous. It's a pretty solid vest. It is a really good looking vest. Again, match was what it was, and the fact that it ended in a no contest at Hell in a Cell. Why? But next up is WrestleMania 35, which I believe was Roman's. It was not actually. Never mind. I thought it was his first match back after his leukemia diagnosis. Which of course Roman Reigns his leukemia returned, which is why he had to relinquish the Universal Championship in 2018. But thankfully he went into remission around early 2019 and was able to be back in time for WrestleMania, which is really awesome. But as for the attire itself, not really a whole lot going on. Solid black, which I'm not a fan of, but it does have the special Roman Reigns logo with kind of the twist. It's kind of the ribbon for I believe cancer, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be totally wrong about that. But I think it works. Kinda. Not the greatest, but I get what they're going for. But honestly, another thing about it is kind of bland. So, and I get what they're going for and everything. And props to Roman for coming back and everything. And glad he's healthy and everything again. Not sure if I'm the biggest fan of that. Just kind of like this one at Money in the Bank 2019. Roman kind of ingests his shirt and everything, or kind of the sleeveless sweater he had as he fought Elias, which, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is when Elias attacked Roman with his guitar when Roman was on his way to the ring. The shirt is nice though, I think that one I'll probably also have to put in C. Funnily enough, probably shows what I know, because this is the attire that ended up making it into 2K20, but 2K20 ended up sucking, so I don't know. But next up was Super Showdown 2019, because of course Roman spent like a good portion of 2019 feuding with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon, believe it or not, even got a win over Roman, and if you can believe it. But change up of the vest again. This time I'm a different logo, still the one versus all Spider-Man logo, but with the dog in the center of it. And not really a whole lot else going on. Kind of an attire. It is in blue, which I think works for the most part, but otherwise, not really. And this kind of looks like his Shield vest slash original Solo vest right here, or just with the new logo slapped onto it, and it very well could be the case here. But Shane McMahon, if you can believe it, actually won this match, which is insane to think about. So Super Showdown 2019. Because it's in blue, I'll give you the pass. I'll be generous. I'll put it in B. But then next up is this green one that he had at Stomping Grounds, which, if I remember, Stomping Grounds, I remember actually not being that bad of a show, despite how out of left field the show name was. A lot of shows kind of around this time just popped up out of nowhere and were gone just quickly. They had Great Balls of Fire back in 2017, and then Stomping Grounds here in 2019. I think this is also the pay-per-view with at least one of the awesome matches between Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy, and now they're teaming together as Malachi Black and Buddy Matthews, respectively, in AEW. Crazy where wrestling takes you, but this one, that green, and the fact that it's kind of like the light green, I don't know if I can help you out of that one, and pretty much the same as this one, but with a different color. Sorry, Roman, I can't. going to be Extreme Rules 2019 solid black this time around, which certainly was a choice. And I think this is just the regular gauntlets. I don't think it's like this one where it's got the extra logo there. So this one, again, this one's got to go in C. Yeah, I don't know if I want to put these at the bottom of the bin or like boot out of the building, but yeah. Actually, now that I think about it, the fact that it's pretty much the same as like, is it the same vest? Yeah, it's the same vest as like these ones with the logo slapped on it in solid black. So you know what? I think I gotta put this one in boot out of the building. Not really the biggest fan of this one. It's not really a whole lot going on, which is unfortunate because Roman was doing really well in terms of attires up to this point. Yeah, that's unfortunate. But next up is Clash Champions 2019, and you can see the white, the white logo there. They're kind of similar to the other one, and so we're just gonna throw it and see. Yeah, unfortunately, he just, at least it has a pop of color unlike Extreme Rules 2019. But yeah, not really feeling it. Wish a little more oomph was put into it. But then, and next up, and I'm not sure why he skipped SummerSlam that year, especially because that was around the time of the whole who hit Roman Reigns with the car. But I imagine it was probably he wasn't selling that because he had came back, and I think the whole segment with him attacking Buddy Murphy, trying to get answers out of him, was right before SummerSlam. So they could have had something at SummerSlam or started the storyline earlier. But yeah, nevertheless, we move on next to Hell in a Cell 2019. And similar to this one, except with the other logo. Also, because of that, I think this one I also got to put in. And actually, no, because it has like the detailed vest like this one, so I think that saves it. Congratulations, Hell in a Cell 2019. You are saved, but not by much, from going at the bottom. And I think that's when Daniel Bryan teamed with Roman against Eric Rowan and Luke Harper, if I'm not mistaken. But then next up is Survivor Series 2019. First of all, shout out to this awesome Survivor Series, just pay-per-view in general, featuring NXT. The fact that they haven't done another one since is kind of disappointing. But as for the attire itself, this one kind of similar to this one, except the blue a bit of a shade deeper, or this one a bit on the lighter side, this one a bit on like a bit deeper, or it could just be tripping. It could be the exact same vest again, but he also has the armband, and so that makes it somewhat different. But also shout out to Epic Stare Down between him and Keith Lee. But nevertheless, this one I think because it's blue and because it's Survivor Series, I think that will save it from going completely in C, so I'll put it in B, I think. But then next up is TLC 2019, and I think this one, yeah, so this one the same as this one and the other ones, except in solid black. So not a lot of detail going on. So unfortunately, this one's also gonna be booed out of the building. Not a lot of detail going on, which is unfortunate. But next up is Royal Rumble 2020. No, that orange brown color returns, and it returns with a vengeance. No, why? This is going and booed out of the building. I do not like that color. It's mixed with the vest. I'm not really the biggest fan of no. Bad dog. Very bad dog. Bad dog. And next up is Super Showdown 2020, and this one's similar to this one, except a bit more on the gray grayish side, but otherwise, I think it's still gonna go in C. Man, the C tier is now really starting to get filled up. Hopefully, the tribal chief can redeem himself, not just in the eyes of the fans, but in the eyes of this tier list. Because next up is SummerSlam 2020, when he returned and turned heel, and everyone rejoiced. It's high with the shirt, wreck everyone and leave. Pretty solid shirt, I think. And this is you can tell he's undergoing a character change because he's not quite himself, of where instead of showing up and fighting like he always does, he more so waits in the cut for his opportunity, because he's now under the guidance of Paul Heyman. So I think it also fits into the character. So this one, I think I will put in I'll put this one in B. But now we move firmly into the Tribal Chief era, starting with the Golden Glove. Now, I forgot when he debuted this attire specifically. I think it might have been at Hell in a Cell 2020 against that man right there, Jey Uso. But nevertheless, he did wear it at WrestleMania 37, so I included it there. They're pretty much the same here, except this time no vest, so chest out and everything, and of course the Golden Glove, which the reasoning Roman gave behind is that everything he touches turns to gold, which is cool. But it also kind of reminds me of the Infinity Gauntlet, which is nice. Roman almost being like Thanos at this point, especially with all the titles he's like gobbling up. But the Golden Glove, I think, simple yet elegant, and simple yet elegant. So I think I'll actually put it in A. Something about it, like I said, simple yet elegant, having the Golden Glove mixed with the character. I think the character is what also some of the driving force behind the attire and everything. Because of course, Roman going through this major metamorphosis and producing one of the best storylines in WWE in a long time. This whole bloodline thing. And next up, we got the Red Glove, and I forgot exactly when he debuted this one as well, but nevertheless, he's got the Red Glove, similar to this one, except it's got the red. And I also like how it's outlined, and like the different parts of the glove, such as the main wrist piece and then the hand pieces and the thumb piece. It's outlined with the black. I think is a really nice touch. So the Red Glove, I think, which red, and I don't think he's explicitly stated, but I think it's supposed to represent blood, because of course the bloodline, and so I think I'll also put that in A. But next up is WrestleMania 38. This time adding red to his boots, which is a minor touch, but I think it also works, showing how more rooted he is kind of in the bloodline. And so WrestleMania 38, I think I'll also put in A. I don't think he debuted those reddish boots at Mania 38, but that's where I saw them at, so I included it here. And then finally, last but certainly not least, we have WrestleMania 39, where he debuted kind of the inverse of this, where these parts are not black, but the main boot itself is red. Do I like it as much as this one? Honestly, I'm not entirely sure. I think I might like it a little bit more, but the jury's still out. But it is still really nice, and it is still really cool, showing how he's getting more and more into the bloodline, and being more connected with the bloodline, of course running the bloodline and everything. And so I think WrestleMania 39 I'll end off with an A. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this tier list. So to recap, in head of the table we had Red and Hell in a Cell 2018. In A tier we had WrestleMania 31, WrestleMania 32, SummerSlam 2016, SummerSlam 2017, Royal Rumble 2018, WrestleMania 34, Extreme Rules 2018, SummerSlam 2018, the Golden Glove, the Red Glove, WrestleMania 38, and WrestleMania 39. In B tier we had Leah Key, NXT, The Shield Original, The Shield 2014, Yellow, Blue, White, Fastlane 2017, WrestleMania 33, Super Showdown 2019, Survivor Series 2019, and SummerSlam 2020. And then C tier, we had Clash Champions 2016, Black, Greatest Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 35, Money in the Bank 2019, Stomping Grounds, Clash Champions 2019, Hell in a Cell 2019, in Super Showdown 2020, and in the attires that disrespected the Bloodline and the Tribal Chiefs, therefore the blood has to be spilled, we have Extreme Rules 2019, TLC 2019, and Royal Rumble 2020. But, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this tier list. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, please do me a favor, like, comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, turn on post notifications so you know every time I upload a video so you can see as soon as it drops. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts on the tier list and your thoughts on my rankings. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know, and remember, these are all my opinions, so if you disagree, that's totally fine. Thank you all so much for watching. Remember to acknowledge your tribal chief today, and I will see you guys later.